a little too sexy, man, for feeding ducks.
It depends on the ducks and what you're feeding them.
Oh, true.
What you feeding them, sexy ducks?
Oysters. An aphrodisiac.
So I guess people are wondering, what the hell are we talking about? So backstage, there's a background music panel that's got a couple of different selections. And the wonderful, sexy song you're listening to is called Feeding the Ducks. For some reason.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack, baby. Yeah.
That's so dumb.
That's just kind of weird.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. And then you got Dance Pop. I don't know about that one. I'm going to drop this graphic out of the way so people can see our lovely faces. And there they are, our lovely faces. Wait, let's kill this music too. Shanti's in holiday mode. What's up, everybody? Who's in the chat? We got some wonderful people in the chat. I was, let's see, I was in a chat earlier. Some folks were talking about Stranger Things. So I was in there for a little bit. Yeah. And
turn the fan off.
Oh, Belinda's in the chat.
Yay.
Yay. Love you, girl.
Follow her. Introvert extraordinaire on Twitter.
Yes. I thought you said Oliver. I'm like,
no,
her name's not Oliver.
It's not.
I'm like, I like Ollie. That's not her. Used and Abused Pod is in there. And there's a birthday in the mix.
There is.
Happy birthday to
Kim
from Used and Abused, another one of our Red 5 Network podcasts and content creators. Check them out. And also a patron of our Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. Christian Fandom Geek is in the house. Look at all these people.
I know.
Wonderful people.
Nina.
Yeah. Who else is in there? Who'd you see? George Lucas?
Nothing. No.
Oh.
Oh shit. I just realized something. Hi, Rolando.
Rolando.
My dad's name.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, excellent.
Rolando. That's not my dad. That's not my dad.
Very nice. Cool. So what do you feel? This has been a really good year for the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. I wanted to make a quick announcement. We are on our road to 35,000 downloads since we started.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone that listens to the shenanigans over here at the Citadel between Shanti and Brad. I'm the only one that makes sense around here.
Lies. All
lies. But yeah, 35,000 views. We're actually at 34,743 as of now. Wow. And we're hoping to reach 35,000 downloads. So go listen to the latest Scuttlebutt podcast. But check out our back catalog of shows. We got some great content.
We really do.
Which one has been your favorite throughout the year?
Oh man. It's funny. I was actually thinking about this earlier, and honestly, okay, so I have two favorites. One of them actually was the one that we did with Paul's Collectibles.
Oh yeah, that was
about
a good
the
one.
Things that we collect. I've actually listened to that one 3 times.
Oh wow.
Because it is just so funny.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed doing the episode about Black Hole with Melanie because I just loved the movie.
Yeah.
And can't believe how much I loved it. So yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. So, besides movie reviews and things like that, we just love hanging out with friends. I posted earlier that some of our favorite episodes are ones that we do with friends,
Yes.
Twitter friends here on Twitter.
Mhm.
So it is really fantastic. Do you have any shout outs to folks that that you met this
I
year?
do.
Yeah.
We met Melanie this year, right?
Did
It
we?
honestly,
I think,
2021
yeah.
and 2022 have, like, melded together for some
Yeah.
reason, so meeting Melanie has definitely been a big one. Belinda, which is introvert extraordinaire, she's really
Wonderful.
f really, really fun to communicate with, and, just recently, about a couple weeks ago, I'm also very friendly with the Monkey Lizard Army, which is head up by Salacious Rum.
Okay.
There is someone in there called, Could Bane Games, KGB, and I decided one day I was bored and just saw that he was live, and I knew he was part of MLA and had never popped in, and now he does a lot of gaming, and I popped in there. His wife is a moderator and runs the chat room. Really chill, really nice people. So,
Very
shout out
nice.
to him. His name is Aaron. Aaron and Jen.
Very
Really,
nice.
really, really, really nice people. So, and just all of MLA. I've become very close now with
Hmm.
almost everybody in the MLA. So,
Very nice. I like that. Making friends,
mhm,
Shanti.
bringing us
When
together.
bringing us together, bringing it all together. I want to shout out a particular group. There's a hashtag called This Is Sci-Fi. If you guys just search This Is Sci-Fi, there's a bunch of accounts in there that are really cool. They've got obviously their own show, but they do they do a little bit of different type of shows. Obviously here at the Red 5 Network, we kind of it's Star Wars movie related, stuff like that, but these guys really go a little more into the science fiction aspect of our
Nice.
entertainment. um, and I think you might be able to find some shows in there that really tickle your fancy. There's
Mm.
another account that I love her passion and zest when it comes to Kylo/Ben Skywalker. If you guys will take a look at Ella Lisa 15.
Mhm.
Brad and I did an episode of Quick Cuts with Ella, and we were talking about if Star Wars can survive without the Skywalkers in it a couple of weeks ago. And that was a lot of fun. She brought, again, like I said, I just love her passion when it comes to Kylo. It's really cool. Excellent. We said happy birthday to Kim, Use and Abused podcast, another one of our Red 5 pods. And
Yep.
what else? What else? What are we talking about
Mm.
tonight, man?
Doing
I'm
5 questions.
I am super excited. 5 questions.
2.
Now, did you include your favorite question, which is always about the Twix?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. All right. I got to bring up my questions. But this should be fun.
Oh, yeah.
The last Scarif Live of the year before we take our winter break. And again, I just want to thank everyone in our chat that have made it, made some time to come and join us every Saturday. I know for the last couple of months, we have been doing our Andor review, which is still available on both our podcast and our YouTube channel. So check those out. And big thanks to all of our patrons throughout the year. They obviously help, keep us professional on the Twitters. So thank you so much. Let's see. What are you laughing at? Throw some strawberries. How come it keeps disappearing?
I remember I have control too. I'm in remember I have stream I'm in our stream
No,
here.
I know, but I'm not doing anything.
That
I'm
was
like,
me. That's
oh,
me. I'm doing that. I have the power.
it kept disappearing on my end though. That's
Oh
okay. That's okay. It's okay. All right. Well, we have a very special guest.
do.
And everyone knows the website if you are a Star Wars fan. There's a couple questions that I have for Wookiepedia. And now that Andor is, season 1 is done, I always picture like whenever an episode of Andor comes, I always picture like the Wookiepedia like the newsroom, like at TMZ, like everybody's like running around with their heads cut off and like, oh my God, there's something new. We got to do this. We got to put this in there. Oh my God.
That's
So
true.
that's how I picture that scenario going. But let's bring out Wookiepedia after this. Let's get this show started, shall we, Shant?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
And thank you very much. I'm going to put myself down here. And Supreme Emperor, the Wookiepedia administrator, what is going on? Welcome to the
Hello,
Scarif Scuttlebutt
everybody.
podcast.
Hello.
Great to see you all again. I hope you've all had a wonderful year. I see everyone's doing their little end of year reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. We, having fun here at the Scarif Citadel, and welcome back. I know, what was that show the last time you guys were on? It was it Star Wars Day?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
I swear, I need to like make a full spreadsheet of like everything we've done this year, just so I can remember what we've done.
I'm sure it's a lot.
Absolutely, fun stuff. But how has it been over at the office?
Absolute chaos as always. I think when something new drops, the meme / gif that I always use to sum it up is, it's like that scene in SpongeBob where you see inside his head and it's just a bunch of filing cabinets on fire, him running around everywhere. I think that sums up our operation pretty well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's how I pictured it.
Yep. They know exactly what he's talking about.
Just with a bunch of Wookiees running around screaming.
Excellent. So we tapped you this year, and this is our final show of the year here at Scarif Live before we take our winter break. And we wish everybody happy holidays and happy winter and all that wonderful good stuff. But we tapped you to come on the show, and we are going to play 5 questions. And it's usually fun. I think the last time we did it was with Toby. Was it Toby?
Yes, I think it was. Yeah, it was with Toby.
And we had a lot of fun doing that. But we usually, take 5 questions. We don't ask each other beforehand. We ask each other on the show to get some really tried and true, off the cuff responses. And this should be a lot of fun.
I like it. It sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Let's start with Shanti, and let's have Shanti ask a question. One of her first. Look at that. She's got notes. Melanie, she's got notes.
She's not even here. Melanie,
you are way more organized than I am. If you'll note behind me, just a pile of notes everywhere.
Really, it was just for you. No, it really was just for you.
She never does it. Yeah.
I never do this. I just want to be respectful. If not, this would be total chaos. Okay. Well, this one is actually kind of a joke. This is for our resident Sith Care Bear, Josh. He is a huge fan of Perrin in Andor. So he wants to know, do you think Perrin is the real hero of Andor? Huge Perrin sympathizer.
Perrin being the ultimate hero. I mean, maybe in season 2 he just has like a complete turn of heart and decides, you know what, screw the Empire.
I like it.
But you know my answer already, Shanti.
Yeah, I know.
I've discussed it. I think
God, I hope he's wrong.
Yeah. I think we're not seeing the whole picture with Perrin.
I made a bet that if Perrin ends up not being the douchebag that the majority of us think that he is, I have to get off Twitter for a week.
Wait a minute here. It didn't specify Mon Mothma's husband Perrin. This could be Perrin, an ensign in the Imperial Navy, Perrin, an Imperial Reclamation Service member, the Perrin Sector, a sector in the Outer Rim territories, or Angelique Perrin, a voice actor for Star Wars The Clone Wars. It could be any of the above, really.
Could be, yeah.
Melanie!
Thank you, Disambig Cages.
But yeah, leave it to Wookiepedia to correct our Perrin issue here. Absolutely.
That would be interesting though to see him have a turn of heart, kind of at the last minute, so to speak.
Sure.
Or he's been playing us all the entire time.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I think the producers are playing us as well as the folks in universe. I think he is in on it, and they are playing the roles to kind of dissuade the spies, the random listeners that might be watching and listening. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in season 2.
You know what could be fun if
Wonder
it
who's
turns
wrong.
out the entire time that both him and Mon Mothma were both rebels, just with separate cells that didn't talk to each other, and he was secretly
could
the
be.
force behind the rebel group that got wiped out.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even
Oh,
You're gonna put that out in the universe.
don't.
our
I
Thrawn
love
fans will not
Thrawn.
be happy with that.
No, me especially. I'm like super in love with him.
That's hilarious. All right, so that was a good first question. I've got a question, and I'm going to address it to anybody that wants to answer it. And I'm going to come out swinging on this question. All right, here's the question, and I'm sure everyone will be respectful.
Okay.
Shanti, no.
What's that do?
Was selling Star Wars a good idea?
I've had this discussion with you before. No, I personally
No.
hate that George Lucas sold it to Disney.
Okay.
That he sold it at all, honestly.
Yeah.
Personally,
yeah.
At the time, I was very hesitant about it. I didn't really know what direction they were going to go, but I think in the long run, it was the right move to make because this opened up a whole new avenue to release stuff. It opened up whole new revenue streams. It opened up new funding, and this whole kind of larger world of talent that can now come in and kind of play in the sandbox.
Yeah, I can see that. When it was first announced for me, I was ecstatic because I realized what they had done to the MCU. I was happy to see what they were going to do with Star Wars. I thought it was in the right hands, and right now I don't think it's in the wrong hands, but there have been some ups and downs creatively that were a little odd as far as decision making, as far as how to bring this story about, especially ending a saga that started in 1977. I think George should have sold Star Wars after he produced his final 3 films.
Yeah, I think I would have liked that more.
But obviously now we've got a whole bunch of new Star Wars that we are waiting for. The Ahsoka series. We've got more Bad Batch. We've got a lot of things in the pipeline that a lot of people are excited about. So I don't think I'm going to give a definitive yes or no on that question. I'm just going to say, we're getting more, and we'll see what happens, because it's the future is always in motion. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah. I just wonder what Star Wars would have been like had it been sold to somebody else that wasn't Disney. I wonder what that would have been like.
Yeah, but it depends on who. I mean,
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I think there are other entities and companies that might have been able to buy Star Wars, but who knows if it would have been the right fit. I think George Lucas had always commented that Disney was probably the best company to take on.
Family aspect.
Yeah. But it's either way, it's an interesting question, and it's an interesting hypothetical. You've I will always wonder what a George Lucas sequel trilogy would have been. And I know there's articles and news out there about what he would have done. I think it still would have been interesting because he is the creator of the series, and I would have loved to have seen the ending from his perspective.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I'm still kind of holding out hope on, Star Wars Visions, obviously, it was very successful. There's going to be a season 2.
Mhm.
In my mind, that opens up a whole new world of possibilities for maybe a Star Wars style what if, where they can kind of look at some maybe alternate versions of how things might have gone.
I agree. Because I loved Visions. I
Yeah.
thought it was beautifully done, and I loved the animation.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was just so great getting to see kind of all these studios
Mhm.
doing their kind of own take on what Star Wars combined with Japanese mythology would look like.
Yeah, it was great. It was beautiful.
Yeah. I think it was an inspired move actually
Mhm.
on the part of Disney to be able to, tap that that avenue, tap that resource
What's with you and the word
of
tap today?
storytelling.
Tap,
I might have to leave
Taparoo.
that for Scarif After Dark.
See, right now I just watched Happy Gilmore a few days ago, so
That's
I'm
why I
just
said
thinking,
tap, tap,
just
taparoo.
tap it in,
Just
give it a little
tap it
tappy,
in.
tap tap taparoo.
You want to go to your home?
See, I just showed my girlfriend that movie for the first time a few days ago, and
What?
it was like getting to see a live reaction to somebody experiencing Face of My Childhood is just always a blast.
Did she think it was stupid, or did she
in
enjoy
the
it?
funniest way possible?
Good, good, good. I'm glad. 'Cause I love that movie.
Hilarious. Funny. All right. You got a question for us?
All right, you know what? Let's throw in a little what if scenario here since we're
All
on
right.
that topic.
All right.
Now, if they were to do, let's say, a what if series, let's say a what if series comes out, it takes off, and they start doing some crossover into other IPs, into other franchises, what would you want to see Star Wars cross over with?
Yeah, that question always pops up somewhere in my timeline,
does.
or
Mhm.
or a friend always asks me that. And obviously, the What If series in the MCU comes from the comic book series, of the same name. I would not want Star Wars to cross over into anything. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, what if we get a Star Wars, Star Trek what if?" or another type of crossover. I'm not sure if I would want that. I think I'm a Star Wars purist, where it's like just stay in that galaxy and give me some cool stories. I don't know.
See,
Tap
I'm the
tap tap.
opposite. I actually would like to see what that would look like. That was the first thing that I thought of is what if Star Wars met Star Trek?
See, I just want to see Thrawn and Jean-Luc Picard just chilling in the mess hall having an Earl Grey. I want to see what that
Yeah.
conversation would be.
Yeah. Oh man.
I
Just
love
the
all the Thrawn
chaos.
talk.
You know
should
what?
actually-
Maybe that's where Ezra and Thrawn have been this whole time. They
Yeah,
crossed
yeah.
over and are just chilling on the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. They're at a bar somewhere waiting.
Actually, Thrawn is. We know that Ezra's over at Buffalo Wild Wing.
Wow, that's funny. Yeah. Cool. All right, Shanti. Next question for you.
I kind of
Or-
feel like you guys answered this question though. With the decanonization of legacy material, do you like that Disney has like opened the door for new paths and stuff? But I feel like you guys kind of answered that already because Disney has definitely taken Star Wars
Yeah.
in different directions. So it's
Yeah.
definitely opened the door for them to do a lot more and tell more stories.
Yeah, and I feel that they're still afraid to kind of open that door a little wider.
Yeah.
After the sequel trilogy, I don't know, things kind of halted behind the scenes. I would love to see more Star Wars movies, but things kind of stopped. They did the book run with High Republic, and then obviously I think their money right now is in small screen television. The Mandalorian, and we've got the Ahsoka show coming. But I feel like, I don't know, this is going to kind of sound weird, but I feel like they're waiting to see, and they're playing it safe, which is, fine. It's a big company. It's a big investment. But one of the cool things that, that we talked about is Visions. I mean, that kind of expanded the notion of what a Star Wars can be. And obviously, none of those stories are canon. They were something that it was very interesting to see. And Japanese animation and the anime format is something that I think I've always kind of pictured a combination of that and Star Wars. So it was kind of natural for me
Okay.
because I've seen it before. And a lot of my friends that loved anime in high school also loved Star Wars. So it was kind of already introduced in my circle. And I know a lot of people were a little confused as to the combination of the two, but I thought it was pretty interesting.
Me too. I like seeing the different perspectives. We talk about all the time about what Star Wars means to each individual, so I think it's kind of cool that we're getting that now.
Yeah, and I think right now they're kind of still maybe playing it, like you said, playing it safe, so to speak, just kind of opening a little bit, seeing kind of what comes out of it, what the fan response is, what people kind of want to see more of. I think in time we will see that open up a little more, maybe post season 2 of Visions.
Sure.
Kind of give everyone a chance to play in the sandbox and see what would happen without it being tied into this kind of overarching storyline.
Sure. And I mentioned the fact that we spoke with one of our followers regarding Star Wars and can Star Wars survive without the Skywalker lineage, but Andor has been doing just fine without any mention of Skywalkers or lightsabers or Sith. It's I think it's probably the most experimental that Star Wars has been in a long time, because there are a lot of elements that usually people associate with Star Wars that are not in Andor, but it is, I think Andor is kind of fundamentally Star Wars in many ways. So yeah, I mean, if and here's the other thing too. I mean, you guys, Shanti, me, I don't like too much overt comedy
Right.
and goofiness in my Star Wars. It throws me out of it,
Yeah.
completely. And that's one of the reasons I loved Andor so much, because it was just serious and for me, it was perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
See, with Andor, kind of the running joke for a lot of people on Wookiepedia was like, the show is going to be dark. It's going to take kind of a deeper look at the rebellion. So, there's a good chance a lot of these people aren't going to survive. And whenever someone dies, that just becomes an easy article to write up, because guess what? You don't have to update them anymore. It's very dark and cynical, but Nemec, I'm sorry, I love you, but we don't have to update you anymore.
2.5 pages, you're done. Yeah, that's funny. All right. I'll go with the next question here. In the vast galaxy that is Star Wars, what would be the best reason to live inside that universe?
I
5
think
questions.
Personally, just the possibilities of it all. You get to experience firsthand all of these different cultures and worlds. Just get to travel the stars. I think that's probably something that every Star Wars fan has dreamed about, just getting to travel the stars and see where it takes you.
Sure.
I think for me, considering how much technology there is in Star Wars, there's also simplicity to it, and I guess the way some people live in certain and I kind of like that, like I've always enjoyed kind of the simple life that Luke does live at the very beginning on, so there is something to that I've always kind of enjoyed. And also, yeah, the ability to see all these different planets. And that is something that I've always loved is all what? Is all what the hell,
G-Force Racing, you want to go around killing people and get away with it?
Oh my god.
This is concerning.
Dark, man.
I mean, to be fair, if you freeze the frame right, you can see any character's "Let's go killing" face.
Yeah.
I think we've all seen that meme pop up.
But one of my favorite things about Book of Boba Fett, even though I absolutely detested that show, was I did like kind of seeing the cultural aspect, behind the Raiders and all that. So that to me was a lot of fun and getting to learn that stuff. The same thing in Andor when they were which planet was it that they were we were looking at the kind of like almost like the Aurora Borealis thing.
Oh
Where
yeah.
was that? What was the name of that place? Where all the shit went down. Oh my god.
Where the heist took place.
Yes.
The hell is the name of the
The heck is the
planet?
name? I can't remember now for some reason. But anyway,
Yeah, we
that
know what you're
like
talking
that's what I really really enjoyed.
Yeah, the cool thing about Star Wars is just how rich and deep
Yeah, the eye. Thank you, Belinda.
the eye, the how rich and colorful the cultures are. And obviously George Lucas started that with his exploration of, you know, bringing a used universe, the aspect of having, you know, a history with all the cultures. So yeah, I agree.
Go back.
Ah, there we are.
What planet was that? It's gonna bother me now.
The Force, the ships, anyone can begin at the bottom and rise to levels that no one could imagine. Anakin, a slave, and became the right hand to the Emperor of the Galaxy. Yeah, Aldani. There you
Sorry.
go. Thank you.
I knew it was with an A.
Yeah, I think also just the thing that would be the coolest would just be having the ability to use the Force. You know
Yeah.
what? I want that thing over there, but I'm too lazy to get up. Just
Right.
Oh yeah, I would be so like
it
I
would
always
just
wanted like yeah, I'd
just
be
pure
lazy.
laziness for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
To use it for
jetpacks.
good, for evil, I'd use it to open the refrigerator door.
And yeah.
Yeah, at work I don't feel like lifting this. You know what? I'll just let the Force do the work for me.
Exactly.
We're so lazy.
We are.
All right, Shanti, what do you got?
Okay. Who's hotter? Garza Flip or Bix before her brain got scrambled? This is really for Ro because he's in love with Garza.
Yeah,
She got blown to
still-
smithereens.
I still say Garza.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Garza.
Yeah.
She didn't deserve that fate getting
She did
destroyed in a
not.
bombing.
She certainly did not.
Justice for Garza.
The only good thing we can take out of that scene is the fact that Max Rebo was not in the cantina at the time of that explosion.
Yep.
He's super sus, man. Darth Rebo.
That's funny. Yeah.
He lives.
Vader Rapina says it's a tie. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. But
That's what she
you know.
said.
Ba-dum-tsh. All right, who's got the next question?
Supreme Emperor.
All right, so there's one that I asked out on Twitter earlier, and I've been getting a lot of great replies to it. If you could go back in time and see any Star Wars movie or show again for the first time with no knowledge whatsoever of what's going to happen, what would it be and why?
Oh, I know that. I know that. What's up, Sith Care Bear?
Hello.
You want to go first, Shanti?
Thinking.
While you're thinking, I'm going to say, so when I was a kid, after seeing the original Star Wars and after knowing that there was going to be a sequel, when I first saw previews of said sequel, The Empire Strikes Back, my jaw dropped. There were things in The Empire Strikes Back that I think, as a kid, I was able to relate to more than in Star Wars. Star Wars, you know, was like fantastic settings, the Death Star, you know, the desert and all that stuff. But when I saw, for some reason, when I saw clips of a battle in snow, and I was thinking to myself, I play in the snow. That I could be on Hoth. That's like my imagination just opened up. I was ecstatic to go see The Empire Strikes Back in the theater. And to this day, The Empire Strikes Back is my number one Star Wars film, my favorite. So I would have to say The Empire Strikes Back, to be able to kind of relive that excitement, the energy that just, you know, that jolted my brain. because of how much I love that story. Obviously love the characters, the continuation of that first movie. For me, it would have to be The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. I got my answer.
See, for me, it's a hard one for me to answer because on the one hand, I could go Revenge of the Sith because that was the first one I saw in theaters. That's always
Sure.
got a special place. But Rogue One,
Hmm.
I first saw Rogue One the same day that we got the sad news that Carrie Fisher had passed away. So getting to see that kind of CGI version of her at the end, just saying, they brought us hope. I don't think there was a dry eye in that theater, and that was just kind of.
Oh
It
yeah.
was a very moving moment where it's just, you have this entire theater of people that are all feeling the same pain.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
Plus, Darth Vader getting up close with the rebels.
Never been more badass, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For me, I would say the original trilogy, but I was so young when I watched them on TV. It's hard for me to kind of remember the feeling that I had, watching them as a 6-year-old. All I knew is that I just loved the movies. Empire Strikes Back definitely always had the bigger impression for me. But because of my age, I would actually have to say that I would love to go back to how I felt when I was getting geared up to watch The Phantom Menace. Because I was 12, 13 when that came out, and that was a really big deal for me because I loved the original trilogy so much, and it was just knowing that I was gonna get a Star Wars trilogy in my generation, which is I'm sure I'm a fetus, which is I'm sure is how this current generation feels about the sequel trilogy. That's how I feel about the prequels. But I will always love The Phantom Menace. That movie will always have a special place in my heart for sure. Shut up, Josh. So fired. So, but yeah. Definitely Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I'm going to have to echo what Melanie says. Obviously Star Wars inspired me to do so many things, career-wise, et cetera, et cetera. But it is definitely a demarcation line in a lot of people's lives. There is, pre-Star Wars and post-Star Wars. And I will have to echo, nothing has ever been the same.
No.
Absolutely agree. All right, who's up?
I think it's me. Okay, so obviously I gotta stop saying so. We even though we know that Mando and all that obviously, comes before the sequel trilogy, with Ahsoka now coming out and all that, do you think that it's possible that they're gonna use that as a way to kind of wipe away the sequel trilogy and actually have Grogu be the hero of Star Wars, like doing a world between worlds and somehow being able to erase the entire sequel trilogy and kind of pretend it never happened and then pave the way for Grogu? Because, I mean, really think about it. How is this going to connect to the sequel trilogy? Because we don't have Grogu at all in the sequel trilogy. Yeah, so how are we going to bring him into all of that? Or is Grogu just going to die?
I got an answer.
Yes,
I
Mr.
know.
Gosling. Yes, please. What's your answer?
We get this question a lot. So early on regarding the world between worlds and erasing the sequel trilogy. I don't think Disney would do it because obviously, there's people that are not really fond of the sequel trilogy, or there's people that really love the sequel trilogy. And I think if they introduce a world between worlds where they splinter off a universe where one group of fans know that it exists and it's there, and then the other group of fans could kind of brush it under the rug, I think that would ostracize that half of the the fandom in a way that might splinter it even more. I don't think it's a good move strategically for a company to do that to its fan base. Unfortunately, I think, folks that are not too crazy about the sequel trilogy are just going to have to live with
Right.
the fact that it's part of the story.
I don't think Disney's gonna admit that they made a mistake either
Yeah, I
by wiping
mean,
that away, because
and
that
again,
would basically what you'd be doing.
exactly. And again, it's not that we're saying that the sequel trilogy was a mistake. There are some things that I'm not too crazy about in the films, but there's people out there that enjoy it. It's their original trilogy, and I wouldn't be bold enough to take that away from them. If that's what they enjoy, if that's how they came into the fandom, there's no reason for me or anyone to say otherwise. And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I don't think they'd go the route of just wiping everything away. I would like to
Yeah.
see through the world between worlds, maybe a little kind of peek into another world of what would happen if X thing didn't happen. But
Mhm.
as you said, like every time I do a post on Twitter, for example, about the sequel trilogy, yeah, there's people that didn't like it, but there's always also a flood of comments from people that are saying how it inspired them to kind of follow their dreams and kind of made them the fan they are today.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if they want to do more Grogu content, though, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Just give us a little Grogu appearance in Ahsoka, maybe a little Jedi Temple flashback that doesn't involve Order 66.
Right. Yeah.
Which I'm really curious to see who what characters the character that rescued him. I know there's been some commentary out there talking about certain characters that they people feel maybe this person saved Grogu or that person. So it'll be interesting to find out when the time comes when they're ready to tell that story, who it's going to be. Will it be somebody that we already know? Will it be somebody brand new? So that should be pretty interesting to find out. All righty. All right, I got another question. Pick 3 Star Wars characters for your crew on a very important mission for the rebellion. Who would that be?
Ooh. Definitely Chewie,
Mm-hmm.
for
Okay.
sure. We need his
Yeah, Chewie.
dependability.
Mm-hmm. R2.
What kind of mission are we talking here?
Mission from God.
Mission. Well, something important, something stealing something, sabotaging something for the rebellion that would make a difference against the Empire.
I'm gonna take Chewie, R2. I'm gonna take Luke also. So you know what? You never know when the Force might come in handy.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
We'll use the Force, even if that's not how it works.
His rebellion mission is to go get the remote control for the TV. All he has to do is. All right, those are good picks.
I want R2 for sure.
Okay,
because he plugs into everything.
right.
Or we could bring in Chopper and have some of that kind of chaotic murder energy.
Chopper. I love Chopper. I love Chopper.
So it was actually fun little tangent. So a couple weeks ago, I did an interview with Christopher Sean, who did the voice of Kazuda Xiono in Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions that one of our users had come up with was, if you were to put in R2, Chopper, and Bucket into a room, who would win the fight?
Oh.
He voted that Bucket was going to win.
Nice, cool.
But that'd be a fun little. Who's going to win?
We got a couple people picking Andor on their team.
I don't know.
That's a good team, though. That's a good team.
Yeah, it is a good team.
Yeah,
I love K2. So all the droids are so good in Star Wars. It's so hard to pick.
I was honestly for season
so
1,
awesome.
I was wondering if we're going to see like B2 get damaged and transferred into the body of K2SO. And I was thinking, that would be really cool. Then it's wait a minute, but that means that we have to see him die. And that would make
I know.
sense.
I'm not ready for that.
That was my theory originally. Now, when we see Andor deactivate the Fondor's flight computer, or fiddle with it, now I have a new theory. But we'll see what happens in season 2. Shanti, who's your team?
R2 for sure. I just love that little trash can. I've always loved R2.
Yeah,
it's feisty.
So dependable. He's just seen everything.
Um,
Oh, here's a good one. Hondo,
you know, I love
Chrysanthemum,
Hera.
and Jara.
I mean, I really loved Rebels, and I loved Hera.
Okay, you're
I
gonna
would
need
want her for sure.
She's a good pilot.
And if he were still alive and wasn't sliced in half, or not sliced in half, but didn't have a hole right through his stomach, I would say Qui-Gon. But, you
Yeah.
know,
That's a good
Quite
one.
whatever.
He's quite literally Qui-Gon.
Yeah. They saved Maul. Reva lived.
Yeah, I know, right?
Qui-Gon had to die. What the hell?
It's merely a
Yes.
flesh wound. All right. I would pick Cinta, K2SO, and
Oh my God.
oh my god. Parents Cyril and Jar Jar. Of course he would.
What a losery bunch.
You'll never get off planet
Josh, you're fired.
again.
Again.
All right. I would pick Cinta, K2SO, and I want to say Val from Solo.
Okay.
Cinta's badass. I love her
She is
character.
badass. Yeah.
She doesn't play around.
No, she does not.
So, those are my three.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. That was a good question.
I think it's Supreme Emperor's turn.
Oh.
Oh, he was having connectivity issues.
Yeah, he was.
So hopefully we'll get him back soon. But you guys in the chat, you guys are making some good picks too.
You are.
And he's back.
Ah, there we go. Thank you, rural internet, which has decided that we are not doing this.
Yeah. So we were just saying that the chat has some good choices as well. But I think you are up, Supreme Emperor.
All right, so let's do a little. Since we got into we're on the topic of what ifs. If you go back to the creation of A New Hope, and you could change one singular thing about it, what would you change?
I'm going to have to go back into my mental archives. Man.
Oh, man.
It's hard because it's such a good movie. So what could you change about it?
I wonder if, like for me, I don't think I would change anything too detrimental to the storyline. I might have to change the fact that that George decided to change Starkiller to Skywalker. I love Starkiller as a name. It's kind of badass. I would keep Starkiller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like thinking about the 97 Bravo gifted me the hardcover edition of George Lucas's original story. Mentally I'm flipping through those pages, but yeah, I would say leave Starkiller as the name. But you're right. I mean, the story sets up so much that is key to the rest of the saga. I don't think I'd change a lot.
See, I want a Man in the High Castle situation. Like,
Oh,
what if they
like
would have
that.
intercepted the plans
Oh, I like that.
from R2?
man.
I would think that you would have said that, Ro, because you love the Empire so much. So what
Yeah.
if the Empire would have won like that from the very beginning? And then, I don't know. Those would
If
be
if that one gunner had decided, oh well, we'll just use the power and blow that pot out of the sky.
yeah, blow it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no life forms on there. No, well, we're gonna blow it up anyway.
Not anymore. There's
Just
not.
to be safe. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
I
love it.
win.
Very nice. Let's see what Dave's dimension. Maybe a little longer battle between Obi-Wan and Vader. More fighting.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed that too.
Well, there's a fan-made scene that does just that. So look for that one. Starkiller is too dark, not heroic.
Oh, there we go.
I can kind of agree
I can
with
see
there.
that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Mhm.
I said that already. More Vader screen time, of course.
Mhm.
You can never have too much Vader screen time.
I know. Oh, this is a good one. Let's destroy the Death Star with the power of love.
Now I'm just
Listen here,
envisioning.
Huey Lewis, relax. All right.
I'm just envisioning as the Millennium Falcon's coming in, all you hear is, "That's the power of love."
Can you imagine the DeLorean keep flying at that
Oh yes, please. We've got to go back,
That'd be a
Marty.
cool crossover, Back to the Future and Star Wars.
We've got to go back,
Where's
Marty.
Frank?
Back
Where's
to the
Frank?
Empire.
Ay, ay, ay. That's a good one. So when I drop the audio of this episode in our podcatchers for Tuesday's release, guess what song am I going to put there?
Yes. Yes.
Iconic choice, really.
Excellent. All right. Next question. What other franchises are you big fans of? So what would be your plan B?
There's so many good ones to pick from.
What was the question again? Sorry.
What other franchise are you a big fan of? What would be your plan B? Considering that Star Wars is your plan A.
Yeah, obviously.
Probably Stargate.
Just
That
like
one
our
always-
yeah.
That one always hit good, especially getting to kind of see potential for how humanity could evolve under the right circumstances.
Just like our friend Nick,
Yeah.
Backyard TARDIS, loves Stargate.
If we got to go with one that's not kind of a mainstream one, though, I think I'd probably pick the 2008 series Jericho. It was done by I think it was CBC. That was always a good one.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Only got 2 seasons, but Back to the Future, that's another good one. Yeah.
Who was in Jericho? Was it
Skeet Ulrich?
Yeah, I remember that.
Great series.
I watched a couple of those episodes, and for some reason, there must have been too much to watch because I lost track of where I was. Obviously, Back to the Future, Left Coast Graphic, of course.
Batman.
Claro que sí, Ubaldo.
That's my man right there.
Does Mr. T have a franchise?
The A-Team, I guess. Batman all day, every day.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to see become a franchise, the Orville. I know you're really against watching it, but I really love the Orville. Bring it back for more seasons.
What's
want
up,
that.
salty nerd?
That's what I want.
Sorry, Shanti. I had to shout out Matt Vader.
No worries.
Yeah, the Orville, a lot of people like it.
Yes, Melanie.
What'd she say?
The Apes. Planet
of the Apes. Yeah. Yeah, I would say Planet of the Apes, the original one.
Yes.
For me, my plan B really is because it's probably a series of movies that I quote quite often, even probably, as much or almost as much as Star Wars is, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones.
Okay.
And obviously my love for that other Star franchise, Star Trek, but I would have to say my plan B would be Indiana Jones for sure.
Nice. Batman.
Oh, let's see. G-Force was talking about Mr. T. A-Team, cartoons, commercials. I think a couple of summers ago, you would still see Mr. T driving in his white convertible on Michigan Avenue, downtown Chicago, because he lives here, or at least he has homes all over. But I used to see him downtown all the time. Mr. T, I pity the fool. All the young people in the chat are like, Mr. Who?
I know who Mr. T is.
All right,
I swear I'm not that old. Jeez, Chad. Making me feel old.
Good. All right. Who's next?
We're on the 5th question, right? I asked 4 already, so.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you ready?
Who are we back around to now? We're back around to me?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's you.
Yeah, go.
All right. Let's see. We've been doing a lot of what if, so let's tangent a little bit. If you could meet let's go. If you could take any Star Wars novel, either Legends or canon, and adapt it into a full movie with no changes whatsoever, just exactly as the book puts it, what's your top pick?
I can't answer that question.
Because you don't read.
I just literally, I've always stuck to the movies and
Yeah.
now the shows, but I did and I haven't started it yet. I literally read just the first page, but as you heard, I'm in love with Thrawn. So I only just bought the Thrawn trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
So
gonna love it.
I definitely would not be able to answer that question. But I'm sure I could tell you right now that that's probably what I would choose.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Such a
Oh, I'm
great one.
sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. So for me, it's one of the first novels that that I read, the new ones that came out, and I really enjoyed it. There was an aspect of familiarity with the original trilogy as the characters came up. We got to see certain scenes of the original trilogy almost from a different perspective, and and as I was reading some aspects of the book, I was reading them thinking in terms of cinematics and listening to the music in the background as I was reading the book, and it's Lost Stars.
That's an excellent choice.
Yeah. So I would go with Lost Stars for sure.
That one's definitely on my top would make a great adaptation list. One for me, I always have to go back to the original Thrawn trilogy. That one I always dreamed of seeing up on the big screen.
Yeah. Those are good. And if you guys, anybody remembers the 90s, we had a a barrage of well, it was a media blitz, almost like a movie with no movie. We had a soundtrack, we had a book, we had a comic book, Shadows of the Empire.
Oh yeah, the multimedia series.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting movie on the big screen. We had everything else but the actual movie, so I loved the soundtrack. And when I was reading the book, again, it's listening to the soundtrack in my head while I'm reading the book. That would be another one. Cool. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that fifth question that I had, I think you guys already answered it. And yeah, it's actually the question that that you posted up earlier. If you can experience a Star Wars movie in the theater again for the first time, which one would it be? So yeah,
Well, my fifth question is very important.
ask away.
Okay. Which do you prefer? The left or the right Twix?
What did I say last time?
I always go for the left. Don't know why. Just do.
So like it depends on, like, if I open it like this, automatically the right one is exposed. So my penchant is to just grab the right one.
But they're labeled now, right? They actually have them labeled as the whole package is like, oh, this is the left Twix and this is the right Twix. I always get the left.
That's a scam.
I don't know why.
I think I'm gonna pick just the full chaos option here and just open it and just take a bite out of both at the same time.
Oh, I like that.
Controversial. That's a hot take.
Kinda like when
Hashtag
you
controversial
fold two
look.
pizza slices together and eat them at the same time. I dig it. I like it. No, I like it.
Wow.
Like it.
Very nice.
I did have an actual serious question that I was discussing earlier, and I guess I'll make that one my fifth. I keep saying that I really love the animated stuff from Star Wars. So, would you prefer that only the animated stuff is done in a series format in a show and then leave the other big storytelling for the movies? Like, no more live action shows. I mean, yes, I'm looking forward to Ahsoka, Mandalorian, and all of that, but I feel like sometimes Star Wars does a much better job when it's animated. I loved Rebels. I loved Clone Wars. I loved Tales of the Jedi. They just always seem to really hit the mark with the animated stuff, minus Resistance. Josh.
Josh, sorry,
Hero.
Josh.
And of course, I love Visions. So, would you prefer that maybe the bigger stuff just stay on the silver screen, and then the smaller storytelling be done via animation?
Interesting.
I know. It's a good question. I thought so too.
Hmm.
G-force.
You know, there's no shying away from the fact that we do have some really great stories that came out of animation. Multiple seasons of Clone Wars and Rebels. We've got some really great, background from a lot of the characters, and I really enjoy that. I also enjoy, going out to a movie theater and making Star Wars movie viewing an event. Um, for me, the Star Wars on the small screen has really been hit or miss, mostly miss, I think. But I don't know if I would I don't know if I would be comfortable with living in a world where we don't have like Star Wars on a small screen. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm gonna love Star Wars. I'm gonna watch it all and evaluate it individually. Do I like it? Do I not like it? What do I like about it? I lived in the dark times in the '90s when we didn't have anything, so it's kind of cool to be able to live in a time where we do have a lot of stuff. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it gets watered down and most of it is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It also comes down to the question, do I want it all or do I want nothing?
Right.
So it's interesting. I mean, I'd rather have a lot of Star Wars so I can go back into that galaxy far away and see what's up, and then like it or not. But I'm not sure if I would want to relegate only big screen Star Wars and animation, because what we've gotten, at least for the most part, I think what we've gotten um in Star Wars on the small screen, I mean, there's some good stuff and even the bad stuff. I mean, I don't know, bad. I'm using in quotes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You like it, whatever. But yeah, we definitely have come a long way since the holiday special there, G-Force Racing. But I want to say, give me all the Star Wars. I'll watch it and I'll see what it's about.
Okay.
I'd rather do that than not have any, or just have movies every 3 years and then animation.
I ask because sometimes especially now with streaming and stuff, people have become so hungry for content that sometimes I wonder if there's too much being pumped out at once and the quality of the stories that we're getting are being
Yeah.
compromised. That's the reason why I say that. So if you divided it where there's the movie division versus just the animated division, which are two different creative teams, there could be more focus on the movies instead of now you're worrying about movies, animation, and live action shows. I feel like there's just so much they're losing their focus and they're just trying to pump out just so we can stop, for the lack of a better word, bitching as to where I have all the patience in the world and I will wait for good content as opposed to just here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this. And it's like, thank you, but I feel like, I didn't like Book of Boba Fett. Kenobi ended up not really doing that much for me. I like Mando, but I also don't find it to be as rewatchable. I loved Andor. Andor has really been the only one that I have found to be rewatchable. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
is that because they're just pumping out too much too quickly? I want the content, but I'm also
Can't.
willing to wait for it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to wait 10 years for it, but
Sure.
Like I'm kind of in the same boat as Ro here. Like
Mhm.
I remember like the early 2000s were like, early to mid 2000s, there wasn't a lot coming out. You had a movie every couple of years and you had the occasional book, but it wasn't, you couldn't just think, oh, in a couple of months from now, I get to see another live action show. It was
Mhm.
maybe in a few years we'll get to see, Star Wars Underworld if it ever gets released.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, Josh.
fucking Josh, by the
His
way.
hatred for Andor.
Well, for somebody that loves resistance, I don't take too much credence into what he says.
Yeah, I got one for chat here,
Oh,
and that's in the spirit of the holidays. Is anyone here going to do a Star Wars holiday special rewatch to celebrate
some
Life
already
Day?
haven't. Some already have.
Yeah, I think I've seen some accounts do.
At least someone in Red
Yeah.
5 I know has done like a show about it of a rewatch. But in general, like in private, I don't know if anyone's done a rewatch just to be fun. Look, okay, LG said she has. Look, Kelly said yes.
Yeah, I remember somebody had done that. Yeah. Cool beans.
Yeah, I agree, Josh. If all the live action Star Wars looked as good as Andor, then I'd be okay with the amount that they're pumping out.
Sure.
Because Andor
You know what?
was
Just
looked beautiful.
give me a live action adaptation of the old TIE Fighter game, and I'll be content.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Oh, that'd be cool.
that would be amazing.
Give me a story about a
Listen to
TIE
it.
pilot. Let's get a
Yeah.
story about a TIE pilot who joins up thinking he's going to do all these great things for the galaxy, and then as it progresses, he slowly gets more and more disheartened with the Empire, seeing kind of what's actually happening under the surface.
I like that.
Yeah. You know, and that could run concurrently with its companion piece, something like what Patty Jenkins was going to take on Rogue Squadron.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get
Yep.
two shows, different perspectives. You know, let me call Kathleen Kennedy. I'm
Okay.
gonna suggest that right now. Yo, Kathy,
You know what?
give me a
Then
call.
What's
Let's
up?
have a chance.
then we have a little crossover film, be like, balance of power in the spirit of the old TIE Fighter series, where
Mhm.
these two pilots kind of come together.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
So Lucasfilm, if you're watching this, you want to hit me up?
Uh-oh, Kelly's mad at you, bro.
Whatever. Too funny. Excellent. All right, guys, that was 5 questions. Any final thoughts on our 5 questions? We had a lot of fun with this. I love these shows when we do these off
Me
the cuff 5
too.
questions.
It's a great way
I
to get
liked
to
it.
know people. It
I like it. That was a lot of fun.
was.
Excellent. Guys in the chat, thank you so much for joining us. This is the final Scarif Live of the year. We are going to be taking a break, and I know Shanti, you've got some fun stuff planned for the end of the year on Scarif
Yes, we
Live. Why don't you tell the
do.
folks a little bit about that? And I know when we are gone, take a break, grab a drink, and Shanti, Josh, and some guests will be back for Scarif After Live. But why don't you tell folks about that, and then New Year's plans?
Okay, so
So.
Stop doing that. Ugh, it makes me
So?
sound like some stupid Valley girl. Anyway. Well, right after this, at 9:30, Earmuffs Supreme Emperor, we're gonna be talking about R2D2 and his Swiss Army dick and how he's the biggest perv in all of Star Wars because he's just sticking it in everything. We're gonna have it's gonna be a monkey lizard army takeover because we're having some people. So Salacious Rum is gonna be on with us. Greedo and a Speedo, Fabulous Disaster, and a friend of a friend of MLA Darth Taz. So that should be a really fun and interesting discussion. We have a fun little game that we're going to be playing. I have a little slideshow to show, and we're going to be announcing our Nerd of the Week, which is very relevant to a certain superhero that the news has broke about this week. So if you haven't guessed who that is by now, then anyway, and then we take a break next week, obviously, because we only do it every other week, and plus it's Christmas. So I said so again, but. We have the 31st. We have New Year's Eve. And we are doing a New Year's Eve party stream. We're taking over the Scarif Live slot at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go for as long as we possibly can. And it's an open stream. The StreamYard link is pinned to the chat. We want people to be coming in and out, chill with us, bring a drink. I might be doing fireworks on the live stream, so that should be fun. And we're just going to shoot the shit. We're not going to have, there's not going to be any kind of specific topic. We are going to be doing some special shout outs and things like that to certain people. And I guess I'll just announce it now. We're going to do like a nice little year in review. And Josh and I are going to talk about some of our favorite moments. Lefty. We're going to do some of our favorite moments from the past year, you know, whether it was guesting on certain people's shows and all sorts of things. So it should be fun. Everyone's invited. And if you want to hop on, you're more than welcome.
Excellent. Sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Supreme Emperor, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Scarif Live. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
So we're probably going to do some sort of little community watch party. We're thinking we might do the Star Wars Holiday Special, just a little everyone get together. We'll just kind of all chill out a little bit, have some fun, watch some terrible movies. Socially, hoping to get the next part of our interview with Christopher Sean up in the next week or so. Then maybe a little hiatus around the holidays, and then come back next year and really pump up our interview series. See if we can get some more fun people on.
Very nice, very nice. And we are so glad that you came back tonight and played 5 questions with us here at the Scarif Podcast. And our lovely folks in the chat, thank you so much tonight. We had a lot of fun. Everyone in the chat, say hello and be kind to each other. Happy holidays. Remember, this is the last Scarif Live of the year. We also posted our last pre-produced episode of the Scarif Podcast last Thursday, which is our Quick Cuts show. We had a lot of fun with 3 topics, 3 friends. Please download it. And remember, check out the rest of our catalog. We are on the road to 35,000 downloads. We are very close, and I think we're going to reach. I'm hoping to reach that goal by the end of right before Christmas. I think we'll hit 35K. So thank you everyone for listening to the shenanigans here at the Scarif Podcast. Shanti, do me a favor and using your best radio voice, if you can sign us out, baby.
And that's the Scuttlebutt.
Woohoo! Look at that. She's got one too. Take care, everybody.